A lot of my peers, including the people around me, believe that I am a talented and gifted person. They see how good my grades are, and they ask me for advice on how to become a better student. But I was never always like this. I didn't know exactly what marks or percentages I was getting on my assignments and exams. I thought I was doing good in school. At least that's what my parents and teachers were telling me. And I was totally oblivious to it. As I reached high school, I realized how flawed everything was. My grades were absolute shit, and I grew very depressed. I had no friends, and I was seen as the outcast gamer who just played Fortnite and rhythm games. This story that I'm about to tell you is how I grew from that indolent gamer to being a very successful student. Hopefully so far you can relate to the story that I just said, or you at least learned something. I'm just gonna say all this from the heart because I don't have a script. I don't need a script for this kind of shit. So, yeah. I would say it started a little bit before COVID. So, I was around in 8th grade, sorta. 8th grade, little me playing Geometry Dash, playing Fortnite, those are kind of the days. During that time, I would say that I had friends. I actually had quite a bit of friends. I had my small little social circle with my 13-year-old buddies. And yeah, we kind of had a good time. School wasn't really a big concern because I was just a kid. And then all of a sudden the pandemic kind of came in, like the whole COVID pandemic sort of came out. I don't know if I can really say this on YouTube. I don't give a shit. But yeah, the pandemic came in, and most people, or some people were like, you know what? Maybe I could use this as an opportunity for me to be a better person. I wanted to be a Fortnite pro. That wasn't really the smartest choice. Looking back, I don't know what I was thinking. I was kind of just balling with it. I didn't make much contact with my personal friends because of like I really couldn't. Sure, I could have texted them, you snapping, that kind of thing, but I wanted to play games. Around that time, they were kind of getting bored of Fortnite. They were getting bored of these kinds of games. They moved on to like playing their Xbox games, and I don't have an Xbox, so kind of just threw that out the window. And I found a new circle of friends through Discord, and we kind of just played Fortnite all the time. So some of the people in my online group were telling me that I should probably just leave my friends. While I was still very hesitant, but subconsciously I could kind of see that I was just trying to do that, because eventually once school kind of came back in ninth grade, we all like had like the masks and everything. When that came around, I felt very distant from my friends, and I could tell that they didn't really feel like talking to me because they just automatically saw me as this guy that just plays games all the time. I wouldn't say they didn't want to be friends with me, but at the same time they were trying to distance themselves away from me. So I was kind of just my own being at the time. Yeah. Oh man. Ninth grade was not my best year. It definitely wasn't. Ninth grade was definitely probably my loneliest year. I was very shy. I was very introverted, but I still tried to fit in. Like I was kind of like going along with the same jokes that everybody else was saying, thinking it was like cool and shit. But at the same time, I was I wanted to be alone. I grew very depressed in grade 9. I had no one to turn to. Pretty much that whole year, I was just doing my assignments. I didn't even think I didn't really study that much. I only studied for like a day. Not even a day, like an hour a day. And then like 15 minutes a day. Something like that. 15 minutes per day. Like before the exam. And then I would go headfirst into the exam. And then, yeah, that's kind of how it was. When I got my test back, in the corner of like the paper, it had like a mark, and because it was in letters, I didn't know what the hell I was getting. In my middle school system or whatever, like middle school, younger years, like before high school, they have this grading system. So if I recall correctly, it went something like this. So EX was like, I think it's like exceeding expectations or something like that, which means like you did really good. Like you got like 95 or higher, like 90. I don't know, something like that. And then there was ME, which was meeting expectations, which was, oh god, I think it was a really huge range. It was like 75 to like 89 or something like that. Okay. And then there was approaching expectations, which was AP, and that would, I think that, I don't even remember what percentage that would be. That would be like from 60, I think that's 65 to, yeah, 60, I want to say 65 to like 74. And then there was below expectations, and below expectations is like, I think that's like a I want to say 64 or below, but I feel like it was lower than that because the range was like really big. It was a stupidly high range. But I remember just like looking in the corner and seeing like ME, and like my parents, my teacher being like, "Wow, like good job, you did really good. You got an ME, you got meeting expectations." And I knew I could have done better. I knew I could have done better. But with all this praise that I was getting from my teachers and whatnot, like them saying how I was being a good student and all that, I didn't really see that ME thing. Like exceeding, people were like, if you got exceeding, like that's huge. Like you're a god if you get it. Like looking back, I just, I don't know. I kind of set the standards for myself to be like if I got ME, then good. Okay, good. But I knew I could have done better. Okay, fast forward. Grade 10. Grade 10 comes in, okay? Right before, I think right before grade 10, so like in the summer of 2021. Yeah, summer of 2020. Wait. Yeah, summer of 2021. I got my first job. You know, I was working at the grocery store in my hometown. I live in like a really small town, making minimum wage. Honestly, I feel like if I didn't get that job, I would not be like a social person that I would be today, because working in a retail service job has kind of helped me just meet all the people in my town, like in my small little community, kind of made bonds with like other people, like taught me like social cues sort of, because I didn't really know much about social cues because I was like a Discord mod. Even to this day, I'm still working there, you know. It pays. Hopefully I can get some sort of pay out of this. I think that'd be nice. I feel like me working at a grocery store just helped me like be more confident, you know, talking to a freaking camera, and just dump my whole student story or whatever. But yeah. Anyway, grade 10 hits. Grade 10 was when I started to take things a little seriously, because they're like, okay, because you're in high school now, you need to focus on your grades. You need to be good and you need to be consistent. I'm like, okay, sure. I'm already like that. I'm already like that. My mom says that. My grandma says that. So surely I got it right. I thought I was gonna be like a 90 student. You know, I thought I was gonna be pretty good. Bro, no, you're not. For some reason though, that didn't really like bump me forward. It didn't really do much. So I was just still going with it. And then I actually made some friends. I made some friends now. It was pretty cool. At the time, I was actually like Googling like how to do good in school, how to do this and that. And then one of them was like, find friends. I was like, I already have friends, man. I got like my Discord buddies. Like, fuck off, bro. Like, shut up. Yeah, eventually I kind of just built that circle of friends. And then I found this one friend. He was very, very helpful, because he's a pretty smart guy, and he was kind of telling me like the ins and outs and all that. And then that grade 10 kind of goes by, and my average is pretty bad. I don't even remember what it was, but I know that it was bad. Like, it was really bad. And then grade 11. Oh god, grade 11. Grade 11 was a very interesting year, because that was the year where I was like, okay, I know I have to go to university, but I don't know what kind of grades I'll be needing for university, so I'm just going to try and aim for as high as I possibly can. And grade 11 was when I was kind of taking life seriously, and I started to do this whole self-improvement stuff. That'll be for another video. But basically, I kind of implemented all that self-improvement stuff with school. So like, so when I would take time out for me to go to the gym, I was like, okay, I have some other hours for the day where I can take out my time for school. Perfect, right? So I thought this was a perfect opportunity for me to actually develop the skills to become a better student, and it really did. I learned many things in grade 11. Don't let others influence you in a bad way. Do things that you think are right, and if others think it's wrong, fuck them. It's simple as that. Looking back though, like grade 11, it was a hard year. Grade 11 was really hard. I would say I would say it's a bit harder than it was harder than grade 11 because, well, grade 10 was like the prequel to grade 11. So grade 10 was kind of like, okay, this is what high school is, and then grade 11 is like, okay, now you know what high school is. We're gonna just throw all that shit at you, and you're gonna have to do it on your own. Like that's pretty much what it was. And I remember just being like, I was really depressed. Like, high school is very depressing. But I really don't know how else to really explain it. Like, I just remember. I remember the one big thing was like when I had to talk things through with some of my friends because I was just making it stressful for myself, honestly. I remember just sitting in my room, just like on my chair, and I had like all these assignments that I had to finish, and I was just crying because I was like, what am I doing? You know? I see all these people, like everybody's like having a good time. They're not even trying in school or whatever. And then I'm just here crying because I'm not getting numbers, man. Like, seriously, dude. Eventually, I did get out of that, though, because I realized how that was kind of affecting me. And all I'm going to say is that it was just really depressing. Like, just me sitting in my room just crying. Just me, like, just staring down, looking at this piece of paper and, like, just sobbing. And then that led me to be thinking more things and thinking more and then thinking more, and then it kind of just snowballs into like just this huge ball of anxiety. I guess you could say you want that anxiety to melt. You don't want that anxiety to just keep piling up because eventually you're gonna have this huge ball of anxiety and you're not gonna have. It's just gonna be in the way. Like, it's gonna be hard to get rid of it. One of the best things that I did learn overall in grade 11 was just the fact that like you are going to feel anxious, you are going to feel depressed because you got like a bad mark on something. You're worrying about the fact that you are going to get a bad mark on something, That's like depression in the past, anxiety in the future. But the main thing that I had to worry about during grade 11 was just being present, You have to be present. You need to be focused on what you're doing now. Because if you focus on something in the future, then if you do think about it constantly, then you're not going to have time to work on what that thing is going to be. And I feel like that was a really important thing that I really took for granted. I didn't know why I kept thinking because I knew that it would lead to more thinking, which would lead to more anxiety. But I just kept doing it. Maybe it was just a coping mechanism. I really don't know why, but yeah, it was a very depressing time. The main thing that I do remember was semester 2. I remember semester 2 in grade 11. I was working my ass off. I was like, studying for this exam like as soon as it was like announced. I was like working on this hand in. But this was like midway through semester 2. And I ended off with like a little bit under like a 90 average. I'll have to check that again. But I remember when the awards were coming up, like I was really excited. I was like, wow, am I going to get like the distinction 90% award because I had worked to that. And then when they were calling up the awards, seeing my friend, like he was getting all these like really good grades. He was doing really nice. He was, he worked harder than me. I'm not gonna lie. He was like, I'm still really proud of him to this day. Like, yeah, I'm really proud of him. Fucking focus, you piece of shit. There we go. Stupid fucking camera. Yeah, I remember just sitting at the awards things, and then it was like this is for like the honor roll. Students have to get 70 something to like an 89.4 to get it, or whatever. And then the first person they called was me. I didn't even. I still remember how I felt. I was so fucking dead. Like, I was just. I had no words. I literally got up there, and then a bunch of other students that were like, didn't even try as much were also just coming up. I took my thing. I held it up. I was like this, and I was just like. I was so, dude, I was pissed. I was pissed as shit, man. Like, I worked so hard to get like that like 90% distinction award, and then I just get like the like honor roll participation award. And then my friend, he gets called up for the 90% award, and I think 2 or 3 other students also came up for that as well. And then my friend gets called up for like 5 other awards, and they didn't call my name again. And that fucked up my year. I was pissed because I remember in grade 10 this acquaintance of mine saying how like colleges love student awards, and I'm like, maybe I should take it seriously then. And I did take it seriously, and maybe I didn't take it serious enough. I would say that the jump from grade 10 to grade 11 was pretty big. That probably concludes grade 11. Grade 12 comes in. Okay. This time I'm like, okay, if I don't get this award, then I'm done. Okay? Like, I'm fucking done. So, start of grade 12 was just like any other day. Honestly, it just felt like I've been at school after that whole summer break. I was just there the whole time, like I was already there. And then I remember, like, I was like, okay, this time I have to be consistent. I have to make sure that I do this. And if I don't do this, it's over. So, I remember, like going into chemistry class. Chemistry class was... No comment on chemistry class. In pre-calculus, I did pretty good. No, my English class, I did surprisingly good on my English class. I'm still in grade 12. Like, this is my second semester. I'm just talking about first semester. I think I ended off with a 92% overall average or something like that. So I am pretty proud of that. It was actually more than I was looking for. I wanted to get like a 90 overall, but 92, like, I'd say that was pretty good. The main thing that I learned over all these high school years is that when you get to your goal, if you set your expectations to be like a reasonable amount, maybe a little lower, once you reach that, you want to aim higher, and you want to go higher and higher and higher. That's exactly what happened with me in grade 11. I was thinking about this. So, when I was in grade 11, I wanted to aim for a 90 overall average. But then I was like, okay, I have a 90 average. So I'll just keep it like that. But then I started to go down. I'm like, okay, so I tried to go up. And then I started going down and down. When you get to that point, just keep going. Like, there's no in between. You can't just stay in that spot. Because if you stay in that spot, then you're probably going to be going back. Because that is exactly what happened to me. And that happens to the majority of people. I'm just going to be like straight and clear. From experience and from what I've seen, if you try and aim for that one spot and you stick to it, you're not going to get any further. You need to keep going. If you don't keep going, it's over. It really is. Think of it like a race, okay? Or like say you're in a marathon, okay? If you're in a marathon, you're going to keep running, okay? And next thing you know, you're in first place. Okay, I'm in first place. I'm just going to stay at the pace that I'm at. But then the person behind you is probably going to be running quicker than you are, and you don't realize how slow you are going. And next thing you know, you lose first place. Same logic applies to anything. Like anything about learning, about like obtaining a skill, sports, literally anything. It's simple. It really is that simple, but nobody really like notices that. Those were kind of the things that I learned, and that's pretty much my story. If you guys want me to do more videos like this, be sure to let me know in the comments. If you want to see more, subscribe. If you guys want a video on me explaining how I cracked the code on becoming a better student, then let me know in the comments. And yeah, goodbye.